Are we good? I'm like watching Justin.
Sorry, there was a ton of buttons I had to press that time.
We're all watching Justin press buttons.
I'm struggling with that. I'm so sorry. Oh, welcome everybody to our Tuesday night stream. You're probably wondering what the heck is Justin doing here?
They are.
Well,
That's a valid question.
you know. I want to answer that question.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna carry on like this is normal.
That's fine.
Friends, we're gonna do something. We're gonna try something new in Dustfire Media. Are you okay with that? I need your consent before.
I'm not.
Okay.
I guess I consent.
Danny said no though, so all right, we'll just
I came
We'll
here
see.
for one thing and one thing only,
Which
and
is?
that's to play Blades in the Dark.
Oh, okay, we can do that.
Oh,
So
I thought-
there is
hasn't- Hasn't that been what we've been playing though?
There's a crew that has started stealing from your drug line and taking profits from you. What are you gonna do about it?
Wait, I thought we've been playing Blades in the Dark. Is that not what Avatar?
No,
Legends-
we're not playing Blades in
Tuesdays?
the Dark. We're not playing Blades in the Dark on Tuesdays.
I'm
we're-
confused. I didn't read the text messages before this recording, so I just
You just
now I'm
showed up?
confused.
Like this
Now
is
I'm
not
confused.
Avatar Legends.
Okay, great. That's good to know.
Good. We're all right. Here's what we're doing. So there are sometimes that life gets in the way, and we have traditionally done scrambled. I wish you could see like the conversations on the back end and what's happening like in the chat when someone's like, "Hey, I can't make it tonight because work is keeping me," or like this happened. It's usually me and Steve being like, "What are we gonna do tonight?" And I'm like scrambling through my like itch.io back and draw my backlog and like trying to find something to play. And I got tired of that. I got tired of like scrambling to find something.
Mhm.
And I personally, while the one shots are fun, they're some of the goofiest stuff we've done, and I'm so proud of them. I love telling like poignant long form narratives. And so we're going to try to do that with this. Bear with us as we iron out some of the kinks, because here is what we're going to do. We're going to be playing a game called Songs from the Dusk. It is a science fantasy post-apocalyptic Forged in the Dark game, sort of akin to She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, or even Full Metal Alchemist fits that a little bit. I was even thinking about this before. I was like, Adventure Time also kind of fits this vibe
I
as
love
well
Adventure
too.
Time.
It's such a great show. It's an incredible show. So that's what the game's tone and vibe is. So what we're going to do is anytime that we have to pivot because somebody is incapable of making it here, we're going to play Songs from the Dusk. So we're going to make these Will, Danny, and Steve are going to make characters tonight. They're going to make a crew tonight. And anytime Gus and Nikki will make some characters at some point too, but anytime that Avatar Legends needs to pivot, we will continue to play this story. We will continue to play Songs from the Dusk. Now, here's the fun part. When we're playing the professionals, sometimes we have to pivot as well. When we do that, we are also going to be playing Songs from the Dusk. We are going to be creating a second crew in this same story, in this same universe. Are the crews going to get along? Are they going to fight each other? We're here to play to find out. That's what I'm talking about when I say bear with us as we kind of like test this and see how this does. I think it's a fun way to play two different crews and potentially have a little PvP. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll have an episode that has literally all of us and I'll GM all of you doing a mission together, going against each other. Who knows?
That doesn't sound like a nightmare for you whatsoever.
It doesn't. It sounds like a dream come true, if I'm being completely honest. So that is what we're gonna do tonight. These three are gonna make the crew, the Relics of the New Republic crew. That's not what we'll call it. You'll come up with some name for it, but it'll be the crew that Relics of the New Republic will be in whenever we play Songs from the Dusk. And the next time that we need to pivot for Scum and Villainy and the Professionals, which might be sooner than I'm hoping, we will.
Yeah, isn't there going to be a pivot literally this week?
We haven't decided. We haven't figured it out.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a potential that it will be.
Potential pivot.
A potential pivot. It might also, unfortunately, Sunday stream might get canceled.
Okay.
We got to figure it out.
I would like to just throw in a bad idea to get things going, which is that our crew is called the Dusk Bunnies.
The Dusk Bunnies.
That's fun.
Good. That's pretty good.
Better than my idea. The Dump Bunnies.
This game has
whatever kind of bunnies you guys want to be. I'm open.
This game has what are called adapted form. It's basically like people that used to be like fully human, but because of whatever apocalypse happened, have taken on perhaps bestial features. So perhaps some of you or all of you have bunny ears or something. I don't know.
Oh God, I should have read this more clearly.
It's all right. That's what I'm here. That's my
We're
job.
all in this together.
My job as the GM is to introduce the world and walk you through character creation. That's what I'm here to do. Will, you're just here to have a good time.
Yeah, and to make good content. And that's all I can do.
Good content. That is all I ask of you. Before we jump into that, though, I had this question brewing in my head and this idea, and I think it's perfect with fewer people. I would like for you to answer whatever question you want in your head. Don't tell us what the question is, but just answer the question. And then at the end, we're going to go through and try and guess what question you answered.
Oh, gosh.
It's so abstract.
I guarantee you I'm going to forget my question and my answer. So
write the question down then. Write the question down.
And this is just a question about
no, literally any question any question at all, Steve.
Oh, it doesn't have to have any correspondence to the game we're playing.
Nope, not at all.
Okay. I will type this so that I have a record to return to. One moment. Clickety clack clack clack.
Un momento.
Okay, I've got my question ready, which means I also have my answer ready.
Okay.
I'm just so scared someone is going to spill beer on me.
Okay. That's the answer?
That's the answer.
Okay.
Oversharing.
Mm-hmm.
That's my answer.
My answer is, I don't know.
Girl.
No, Danny.
Danny, I swear to don't make
Give us an answer. Give us an actual answer.
Give us an answer.
Oh, no.
No, guys, I think Danny went straight for the jugular with that one. It's going to be something like, what's the reason for existing?
Okay, fine. Here's my answer.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
In the ballpark of 80.
The ballpark of Hades?
80. 80.
80?
More than
okay.
80. At least
In the
more
ballpark
than,
of 80.
More than 80?
Okay,
More than
all right.
80. Yeah.
Okay. My answer is about $3.
Okay.
That's too much for that, Justin. That's way too much for that.
You don't know. I'm gonna put our answers in. I'm gonna put our answers in the chat.
Okay.
Who wants to take a guess at what the questions were?
Justin, you're worth way more than $3.
That was not the
You're
question.
priceless to me, Justin.
Thank you. Thank you. That was not my question, though.
You should pay way less for hash browns, Justin, if $3 is how much you're willing to pay for them.
Damn it. That was it. Steve, any guesses?
About $3. What you wish lunch cost?
Steve is close. I think Steve might get a point for this one.
I'm getting points.
My question was, how much does a loaf of bread at Target cost?
Oh.
About $3. I think I'm gonna give Steve a point for that. There were not points.
True.
I just Googled it. Somewhere between like 2 and 3.
Oh.
So
I feel like we shop at very different Targets.
probably.
Damn. I'm getting ripped off for bread.
Oh no! You buying Dave's Killer Bread?
No,
It's
I'm
only
not
$7 a slice.
It's like $5 a loaf in Boston.
Wow. Boston is one of the most expensive places in the country. So
Yeah, someone come rescue me or give me $1 million.
I
You can
changed my
choose. I
answer
you can't change the answer.
because I realized I'm wrong. It's definitely over 90.
Okay. All right. In
All
the
right.
ballpark of 90.
Okay, so we still have to
Over
guess the
90.
question that Danny's
Over 90.
answering.
Yeah. I think the answer is, how fast can I drive my car without crashing?
Yes. No, that's not it.
That's solid.
That's a good answer though.
Over 90.
I just thought it was like, how many bugs has Danny killed?
In the ballpark of 90.
Oh.
Somewhere around there.
Twice as much.
I was thinking like it seems like a significant number for the life expectancy of somebody, and
Oh,
so maybe the
okay.
question is, how old is my oldest living grandparent or something?
Danny, I would like for you to award a point to whoever is the closest. And
Even if
no
we're
one is
all far.
close, then no
Okay.
points are awarded.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you already gave your answers. I think Steve would be the closest because that has to do with
Okay.
age. The answer was, how
Wow.
old are the four of us collectively?
Wow,
Oh,
Steve, you're really
that
good
was
at
my
this
question.
game.
Yeah.
Steve, you're very good
It's
at this
flattering that you're about to put us at 80 collectively. That's very
Yeah.
nice.
Because
I
I'm
can
like,
see
oh,
why you
there's
did
no
it.
game.
way.
You can go back down to 80 if you want to. Yeah, I guess it's probably more than that too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely it. I think it might be over.
Do you know what my thing is? My thing with age is I was thinking about that and I forgot how old I was. I forgot how old all three of you are.
I get it.
And I just, age was just, I was like, we're back in
It's a
2018.
number. Yeah.
And we're all the age where that we were back then. And I was like, wait, no, we're not. It's 2036. Wait, no, it's not. And I started going crazy.
Unfortunately, I still insist that time has not passed since 2018. So you're
Yeah,
good.
it's true. It's 2019 right now.
I do legally have to disagree with all of you. Time has passed since
Oh
2018.
no.
Dang it.
Okay. Man,
Um,
who put these legal obligations on us?
Well,
I
listen,
think
if it was 2018, I wouldn't be 18 yet. And it'd be weird if I was on this podcast. So
that's
Oh.
fair.
Okay.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's the only reason that time has passed.
yep.
Yes,
fair.
can we maintain that? That's great.
Good call. Good
Great lore.
call. I think Will's question is, why don't I go to NASCAR sporting events?
Wait, I already forgot.
Hmm.
Will, what was your answer?
I'm
I'm
just
just scared
scared-
someone's gonna spill beer on me.
Okay.
Oh,
Why don't you go to church?
Okay.
Great,
huh.
Okay.
great
Okay.
thought.
I haven't
Okay.
been to church in so long. I forgot what that's like. Wait.
There's no beer usually there.
Hey, you don't go to fun churches.
Yeah, I was leaning more towards like, why don't you go to straight bars?
Mm.
Guys, Steve
You
gets
get-
another point.
Oh, I
Is he
thought about the
serious?
bar thing. I was like,
Yeah.
just too
but
on the nose.
It was like, why didn't I go out more?
Oh,
Steve,
Those
I
are
do
good.
want to say you get beer spilled on you regardless of which bar you go to.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true.
I don't know.
just
I haven't
bars
been to enough
in
gay
general.
bars or straight bars, so I was just kind of like, straight people are probably sloppier with their beer.
Nope. Believe it or not, it's actually gay people because gay bars, they try to kill you with their alcohol. The pours are heavy.
oh wow.
They are. They are.
They try to kill you.
Okay, all right.
And I don't even drink, and I know that it's a lot of a lot of alcohol.
I'm so ready for this experience. I will surrender. I'll go into the bar, and the first thing I'll say is, please kill me.
Kill me.
And then I'll put money on the counter and see what they do.
And they will.
Oh, that's so nice.
Steve's answer was oversharing. What is the question?
What is something you wish everyone around you would provide to you?
Okay.
My initial thought is like, what is a flaw that's not really a flaw?
Mm-hmm.
I'm very pro radical honesty.
I have some behind the scenes pre banter that says otherwise. Will.
Oh. What did I say?
I told you I was like I'm honest, and you're like I'm not. I lie.
I am
all
a
the time.
liar.
There you go.
Potentially it's something you have to bleep, and I'm okay with that. I did take credit for the newest trend of gooning. We'll talk about that off stream.
I'm not gonna Google that right
The
now.
That's
only-
great.
the
Don't Google
only
that.
I'm not Googling
The only
that right now.
effective way to build a great foundation of honesty is upon a bed of lies.
Correct.
I suppose.
My grandmother
Wait.
on my mom's side would insist that that is true, but but not overtly. She wouldn't tell you that she insisted it's true because
Steve,
the bed of lies.
can I get real with you, Steve?
Yeah.
I think the question is, what do I least like about myself?
Oh. Okay. The point must be split between Danny and Jinkies.
Oh man!
Oh, that's just what
So
Justin
I hit-
least like about you, Steve.
I know he's projecting. No, I wrote, what do I do often and wish were normalized and think others would do more if they had the chance?
Oh, it was like the opposite of my question.
I guess so.
The opposite
Yeah.
of my question.
Yeah, because I don't mind it about myself,
For
except
sure.
the social consequences that occasionally happen. Where I'm like, oh yeah,
I'd like to say I don't think you're an oversharer. I've never thought that about you, but I thought maybe that's the question.
Mm-hmm. I've definitely done it, but
I do respect it.
again,
Whenever,
if it were
whenever I do
normalized, I
hear-
wouldn't feel bad.
Yeah, because whenever I do hear people like talk about like, oh, I overshared too much, didn't I? I'm always like, was that a problem? You're
Mhm.
expressing yourself. You're being yourself. You're telling someone about yourself, and if they're not about that, then that's on them, and you should take them and tie them up, put them in your basement, so they can never disrespect anyone else ever again.
Exactly.
I think you might have overshared, Danny.
Oh man,
I just gave my thought process. Anytime oversharing goes badly.
I would like to
was an example.
normalize oversharing, undersharing relationships.
Mm.
Someone overshares and someone undershares.
Oh, you could do a whole
like
PhD on that.
then there's no head-on collision, right?
Then there's no head-on collision because you're just bypassing each other. But you're okay with it now.
Mm.
All right. Thank you for indulging me in a dumb game I thought up like weeks ago, and I thought it was funny.
So creative.
I thought it was funny.
It was cute.
Yeah.
I realized too. I was like, I should ask this in the professionals, but having all six of us answer would be a lot. So I think just the four of us doing it was a fun little game here.
Ask it when the other Songs of Dusk crew.
Sure,
Is
that's a
there?
good idea. Someone actually asked us about asking the same question on this show as we do during the professionals for banter. Maybe we'll do that sometimes.
As long as we feel like it wouldn't be dull to have
Yeah, the
those
same.
who cross over on the shows answer the same
That's-
question. Because
that's
if
what I
it's like a
said.
very like pointed, like factual question where it's like there's only one honest answer, then I may have to build a bed of lies.
No, for sure. I'm with you. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, not every question is gonna be good for that.
Thankfully,
all right,
Grandma prepared me all those years ago.
to lie.
Yes.
Friends, I think it is time. I think it's time we jump into this, yeah?
Oh God.
It's gonna be all right.
Will and
It's
I
gonna be
don't know
alright.
what we're jumping into. I'll tell you
We're
that
gonna-
much. I don't know about Danny. We'll see.
I barely have much more of an understanding than you and Will do.
I
So,
have read through the rule book a couple of times. So
Whoa.
I think
That's insane.
I've not read anything in my life a couple of times, Justin.
Really?
So I'm very impressed.
I
Probably.
read when I GM, I am constantly rereading whatever core rule book I'm running. Like
I wish that I
constantly reading it.
did that. I'm going to get medication soon so that I can hopefully.
There you go.
do
That
that.
helps. I'm sure that helps.
Yeah.
I'm sure that helps.
When I GM, I make a point not to read the core rule book of whatever game we're playing.
That's not true. That's not true at all. Stop building the bed of lies and making our audience
It
distrust you.
needs to be done.
We're gonna start. This is a Forged in the Dark game. So with all Forged in the Dark games, the mechanics are going to be very similar to Scum and Villainy that we play. But we're going to start with crew creation, I think, because I have come to really enjoy creating these like crew things before creating the characters, because it helps you situate like, who is this character? Like, why are they a part of this crew? And I think that'll be helpful. So the first thing that we're going to do is choose our crew type. There are 5 crew types. You guys get the benefit of choosing a crew type first. Whenever we do this for the Scum and Villainy Professionals gang, I will tell them they cannot pick the same crew that you guys pick for your crew. Your options are augurs. Augurs are passionate scientists and investigators. They solve mysteries and uncover things both old and new. Couriers are hardy transporters. They move supplies and connect people to trade and aid relationships. Magpies are clever techs and scavengers. They scavenge old tech and turn it into new and helpful machinery. You've got the Rangers. Rangers are agile scouts and defenders. They defend and rescue the innocent and stop those who would oppress them. And last but not least is the Silvers. Silvers are thieves with hearts of gold. They get supplies from the wealthy to the needy by hook or by crook. What are we thinking?
Silvers.
It just sounds the most fun.
It sounds pretty fun. Get some fun heisting going on.
I just want to Robin Hood this ish. You know what I'm saying?
I do feel like we're like robbing Nick of his first choice. I feel like that'd be his first choice too.
And that really isn't that what
and
we
the
all want to
robbing
do?
begins.
Don't we want to rob from Nick?
Well, have they considered
Yes,
simply missing more episodes? And then they could have had the first opportunity?
Will, that's a fair point.
They should have been planning over 5 time zones.
Exactly.
We plan over 3 time zones with the professionals. 5 is a lot.
You talk about coordinating across 3 time zones.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Mostly because of me.
That's all right. Okay, Silvers. So we're gonna go over to the Silvers playbook. Actually, I'm gonna do that as well too. Just like our other games, we can make this so the audience can follow along.
Ooh. Oh.
So we're gonna go to the Silvers tab. You've chosen your crew type. Do any of you have the? Actually, it might just be on this doc. Let's check. It is not. Okay. So the first thing you have to do after picking Silvers is choose your specialty. If you have the PDF open, it's gonna be on page.
Looks like 43.
Page 73.
73.
Yes.
That's crazy. It's a crazy
Page
number.
73. I will put them
Radical.
in chat. I'll put them in chat and I will read them out loud as well too, though. So
Okay.
you have every crew playbook is going to be able to choose from 3 different specialties. It's going to give you to what is called a starting foundation. Foundations are just facets of your community that are important to that community. And here community is going to be bigger than just your crew. Your crew is a part of a larger community. And that community is going to have this thing. That's really the best way of putting it. So your 3 specialties that you can choose from are prototypes, which is expensive medicines, proprietary technology, and more. You'll start with smuggler's rigging if you choose prototypes. You can choose resources. So your silvers specialize in pilfering resources. So food, water, mass-produced technology, bulky machinery, that sort of thing. If you choose this, your starting foundation is hard light holograms.
Which, yeah, what are
Sounds pretty
those?
cool. Well, these devices are going to give you a +1 load each. These devices are trying to basically just let you set up a hologram. Yeah,
That's
sets up a
cool.
hologram. Yeah, it's very cool. That is very cool. And they'll stand up to visual inspection and casual touch. So that's the hard light part, right? Like they're physically there.
Yeah. So like this is a hologram that's convincing enough that like
Mhm.
Yeah,
like someone thinks it's a person, for example.
Yep.
it's like a
It's crazy.
like a level 6 illusory disguise.
Yeah. If they're trying to move that hologram or like disrupt it like heavily, they'll see through it. But like if they just casually try and interact with it, they'll just
little
think it's-
handshake. No
Yeah.
big deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Casual touch.
So that's resources. Your last specialty for the things that you steal is secrets and blueprints. If you choose this, you will start with spin weave apparel, which basically just lets your clothes reconfigure to match whatever you want. You have limitless disguises at your disposal.
Hmm.
It says, well, it doesn't indicate this specifically, but can we just like change it like easily?
Yeah,
Like
That's
on a dime?
It changes your clothes only though. It doesn't change your actual physical features.
correct. It's just
Yeah.
your clothes. Yep.
Mm.
That's so cool.
My understanding is that it does. I don't think it's like all right, hey, I have to go back to my like base and spend the next 8 hours reconfiguring it. I think there's some technology in the clothes that lets you just
Mhm.
Yeah,
on
it's
a
like
dime.
it's like Iron Man's nanotech.
It's a little that's what I'm imagining. It's a little bit like nanotech.
These are so fun.
They
Very
are really
fun.
cool.
I think my favorite part of this game so far is the vibe. I think it's a really cool world that they've created, and I'm really
Mhm.
excited to play around in it.
Yeah. Right
Oof.
away, I'm leaning towards either secrets and blueprints or prototypes.
I personally am leaning towards resources
Huh.
Okay.
because I feel like then the Scum and Villainy crew can't really beat us up if it's like objectively we're doing a good thing for the community. Like,
True.
oh, they're such
Oh,
dicks.
no.
They beat up the people that are going to get water for the town.
I think it'll I'd like to. It's not that we're gonna set this up to be an explicit sort of your gang against their gang. I think
I'm
it'll
gonna
be
kill him.
Yeah, it'll be more that like you guys might have partners and factions that want one thing, and they have partners and factions that want different things, and sometimes your goals might come into conflict with each other, and you might have to figure out how are we going to get what we want.
I still like this angle though of like, but who could be against them? They steal water
Right.
for the people.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not explicitly setting it up as like, we're gonna fight them, but I
Yeah.
am explicitly setting up as if they fight us, they're in the wrong.
They'll feel bad about it. Yeah.
Ooh,
Right.
yeah.
This is also be thinking too. This is also a signal to me as the GM of what sort of missions you want to go on. It doesn't mean you're
Mhm.
only going to steal food, water, and mass-produced tech and bulky machinery, but you've signaled to me this is the sort of thing our crew is interested in trying to steal.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like I'm tie breaking.
You could
Honestly,
also
you
just choose the
are.
third option, and then we'll like
And I'll
spin or
and then I'll
something.
tie break.
Oh. I mean, I'm leaning secrets and blueprints because I want to change my clothes with spinweave apparel.
Also, missions that have to do with secrets. Just
That's fun.
so
That's pretty
appealing.
fun.
It can be really fun.
It's pretty fun. There's a lot you can do there, for sure. It
Our
sounds.
missions could even set up other missions for the other crew. You just
Oh,
Maybe.
that's true.
Maybe.
world breaking.
Yeah. It sounds like maybe we're leaning towards secrets and blueprints.
I'd be at peace with that.
Okay.
We can still get water for the community. But
Sure, for sure. Again,
Yeah, we can
It's
get a
not-
water bottle on our travels. Stop at the gas
Exactly.
station. Oh, guys, I got you
Somebody-
for this, and then throw it at them.
it's not the only thing you're gonna steal.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm gonna
2
steal
water bottles
so
then.
much.
2 water bottles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal so many water bottles. Spin Wheel of Peril is gonna be really fun though. All right, the next thing that we are going to do, we're gonna start creating the community. This I think, as I was reading through this, is a really cool aspect of this game. I'm really excited to do this with you all. So the first thing that we're going to do is choose the region that we are starting in. Now, I have to count them. I believe that there are 7 regions in the game.
That's correct.
Where can I find info on the communities and regions in the?
So it's going to start on page 202. 202. I can give you, they've got like a quick and dirty summary of the various regions. Where does it say it? Like on page 43. So Seraphin is one of the regions, and the Starfire Pelagic are good choices for exploring ancient history, whereas Arcanthia, Malvarose, and Corundum, which is also known as the Red Empire, are good for telling stories about inequality. You can also consider Malvarose, the Starfire Pelagic, and Pinelock for stories about strange fauna and weird magic. And if you're interested in post-apocalyptic politics, we would want to go to Seraphin, Acanthia, or the Red Empire. And then if we're having trouble choosing, the Meridian Valley is kind of the default starting region, as it kind of has a little bit of everything. So just to like the quick and dirty like overview of this, Seraphin is a like worker-owned syndicastic government. So it's the workers that own the government and make decisions. So there's a lot of production in Seraphin. Same with same with the Meridian Valley and Malvarose. Malvarose, though, is a monarchy, I believe, as well too. There is some like syndicates there and worker owned parts of the government, but it's mostly a princess or a queen, I believe. The Seraphin Republic is also the biggest and most populous nation as well, so that's something to think of. They're all pretty. It's pretty like JRPG-y in that each region kind of has its own, like not only like governmental vibe, but also like ecological vibe as well too.
Yeah, right away. And this doesn't mean to say that. I mean, I'm sure that there is like opportunity to like move the
For sure.
region in which your crew is based in, but right
For
away,
sure.
I feel like the safest choice, especially considering if Steve and or I will be playing the same player character in both crews, to choose Meridian Valley
Okay.
as a starting region, just because that will give us enough opportunity for really anything we can get our hands on, any kind of job and vibe.
For sure. Why don't I read Meridian Valley then, and you guys can decide if that's the vibe you're going for. The Meridian Valley is a lush river valley that runs down the center of the region, home to vast fields of wheat, large rice paddies, and other staple grains, as well as a number of fruits and vegetables. No single nation controls the Meridian Valley. It's divided into a number of towns, city-states, and small nations, which maintain loose trade alliances, but are otherwise ruled in wildly divergent ways. If you're from the valley, you are as likely to be ruled by a monarch as a chief minister. The valley's economies are similarly mixed. It says to picture river valleys, vast fields, bamboo, and dense forestry compared to the biomes of China and India. And that is, they mean it, right? Like there's sort of like, because there isn't a overarching government in the Meridian Valley. We can tell whatever stories we want here.
Is there any
Yeah.
aspect of it that feels city, or is the whole thing sort of like this is like where the food is made, and so you get like light population, heavy agriculture spread?
So there are big pockets. In fact, one of the first cities that was founded after the apocalypse is here in the Meridian Valley. It's called Junavale. It's a city-state, so it's pretty big. There is a lot of like rice and grain fields around it, as well as like forests for wood and metal making. But that's probably the biggest city. There's also another moderately sized town called Charnon, and that's kind of fun. That sits near the Red Empire, which is like a tyrannical, militaristic region that is trying to like expand its control, and pretty much the rest of the world is like trying to form loose alliances to stop them.
I'm down for that. Yep.
So that's pretty interesting too.
I express interest now in Charnon specifically, but yes, the Meridian Valley sounds great.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Charnon. All right. Okay, I hear you. I'm gonna add then this. Let's see if I can get this to work. Meridian Valley. I have a map in the Google Sheets. And I want to see if I can add the section for just the Meridian Valley. I was holding off on it because I wasn't sure what you were going to pick. But now that I know, let's see if we can do this.
Charnon definitely makes me feel like I have opportunity to channel my anti-imperial sentiments.
Yeah, there's definitely like you can definitely like go over to there, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, I know why. I exported it as a PDF. That is not what I want.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. That's not gonna work. Okay. Let me make it a little bit bigger. But there we go. Okay, it's a little unclear, but that's okay. So there's a maps tab in the Google Sheets. So you can see kind of where the Meridian Valley sits within the whole continent.
Oh.
And then you can see what it looks like. There are specific places. There's some pretty cool places. So Charnon, you can see, is right up there at the top, next to the Transcendent Sword. That's
Okay,
so cool.
fancy.
I know. All right.
So pretty.
It is very pretty. The map is really cool looking. I'm really excited to play this game. I like the vibe a lot, and the art really sells it for me. It's a really pretty map, really pretty cover as well too. Here's my suggestion, is that your community is close to Charnon, but is not Charnon itself.
Cool.
I think that's fun. So that way you still have access to Charnon. Like maybe that's where you go to like get supplies when you need a big supply. And it has that like tension with the Red Empire there, but then you still have your own smaller community problems as well too.
Cool.
So let's start thinking about like what that community is. What is it called? They start you off with writing down just some like geological features. They've got a list of things, but I'm not going to read all of them because it would take a minute. So, but I'll read a couple just so you have like an idea of what we want to start bouncing off ideas of. Shattered earth, caverns, a forest or a jungle, urban streets, radiant structures. Radiant is like pre-apocalypse structures. So as you think about this community, what sort of geological features are there?
Great question.
We did talk about this beforehand of
Mhm.
maybe setting up two cities that are kind of close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
That would maybe be the other city that this other crew is going to be part of. But there's sort of two twin cities that are close enough that there's a lot of interaction between them, but also maybe some tension as well. So in
Mhm.
my head, my mind immediately goes to like a mountain range,
Oh yeah.
right? Like almost like
Mhm.
two cities like across mountain peaks almost. I mean, not
Mm.
mountain peaks, but like across a mountain from each other.
Okay,
Mhm.
City of Verona.
I also imagine in terms of the actual architecture of the city as well. I imagine because this is a idea I just sort of bounced off of you. Like, what if like the city that we're from maybe doesn't so much reject, but is well, yeah, like if in some sense rejects like the modern post-apocalyptical technology. So I
Sure.
imagine like we're like using that. So I
Sure.
imagine like some of that technology is sort of like repurposed to like make buildings. So like
Yeah.
like robots or mechs like acting as like street lamps or
Okay.
like things like that.
Um,
Hmm.
I dig that a lot. We're gonna get into other things like structure elements. I think that fits really well
Okay.
for that sort of like
This is more like the natural.
Yeah, this is natural
Yeah.
geological features exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I like the mountainous terrain concept as like sort of the macro, but if we zoom in and we're like a little bit outside of Charnon, like I'm kind of picturing a humble wood, like a
Okay.
wooded area.
Like a
And I
wooded
think-
forest mountains.
Yeah, like I'm kind of picturing like further down the mountain, it's like below tree line, like a cluster of like Robin Hood like folks who have formed community.
I dig
Yeah.
that. I dig that a lot.
What if there's like a mountain range bordering this little wooded community, and what if the city sits atop this mountain range
that's-
Charnon?
along it, if anything? Well, not Charnon, but the
you're-
city.
the city that
Oh,
you're
our little city?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I was imagining, and I was imagining maybe like the next mountain over. Maybe there's even some sort of like stone bridge that connects the two cities across the mountain.
That'd be
would
fun.
Yeah.
This other city, a
Then we can
giant
blow up the bridge. So please build that.
giant bridge. I dig it. I feel like that's a pretty good vibe. I got a good picture of the geological features of this place. It's really pretty.
I like it.
It's
Yeah.
really pretty.
I want to mess stuff up in the city and then run really quick to the woods.
Run away.
Are you
Now-
typing this in the Google sheet?
I am, yes, on the Silvers page.
Ah,
Oh, I see.
The Silvers page. I could hide some of these, but I will hide it probably once the other crew makes
Mhm.
theirs. Or I guess I could hide some of them now. Hide.
secrets are so fun.
So structural elements. I really like Danny's idea of repurposed tech.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's very, very cool.
Like I imagine like these like mechs that have like moss and like vines growing along them that are like
yeah, like that might be like
used
the
as, like,
watchtower.
yeah.
Is like the
Mm.
chassis of a dead mech.
Hmm.
I would love that. Yeah.
That's
I'm going to spend
very,
time gazing at the stars from
very
that.
cool. Yeah, you guys see. Here's the thing: you're all nervous, and then you just jump into the vibe and the genre.
I'm not nervous. I
vibe.
basically just woke up.
That's
I was nervous. I didn't read the rules. Let's clarify. I was nervous because I'm underqualified.
Yeah, I never read the rules, so why would I be nervous about that?
Right.
I feel like every time you make that joke, I have to clarify. We do, in fact, read the rules. We do try to play the games as close to the rules as written. It is
And
a
let's
bit
clarify
that Danny
again.
does.
When we break the rules, we have an hour-long referendum afterwards to figure out what is the best reparation to pay in-game for breaking them. You will see the consequence of one of those referendums very soon, actually.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm huge on the rules. I think the rules are what makes the game fun and gives me gives players the structures to play around in it.
Yeah.
And I try and stick to the rules.
There's a reason we're playing the game. We could just as easily just
for sure
tell a story
exactly
and make it up. But
exactly.
we're an actual play podcast. So
when you're confined to something, it actually enhances your creativity, I think.
I love that you guys are using this opportunity to like solidify our stance on rules. I do care deeply about the rules. I try.
That's the thing,
Again, I am trying to get medication that helps me read things. So reading is hard.
That is the thing, right? Like no one's. I've only read this game a couple times. I'm gonna get some rules wrong. It's just gonna happen. And that's the thing. Every new GM, every player, even if you played a GM for a long time, you're gonna get the rules wrong. That's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
That is all right to get the rules wrong.
Yeah.
You're learning.
I think right now I hold the biggest crime for rule broken in Flying Bison podcast.
Yeah, you do.
Oh no! Let's see if you can guess it in Discord.
I proudly hold that title. I just want to say.
Beautiful.
All right. Any other structural elements? I feel like there's a.
Is there a list of
a couple others? There is a list. So if you're on that tab in Google Sheets and you like click on structural elements, it should pull up that little note, and it says choose 3. But like I said, we don't need to choose those. I already think that we're on the right track. But you could look at those ideas for, to jump off of for sure.
I have to giggle. One of the given structural elements is pavement. And I just love the idea of a world so far gone from ours that there is no such thing as pavement. That sounds wonderful, actually.
That like
we use loose Legos as walkways.
Ew. And everyone in this world is barefoot. You have to lose your shoes if you enter the city.
What?
That is actually a different kind of podcast, folks. You have to pay $5 a month on a different website to listen to that one. Please. That's not what we're listening to. Thank you.
All right.
How did we get from A to C there? That was okay.
Well, because stepping on Legos.
No free feet, guys.
Stepping up.
Sure, I do always forget about the no free feet. I get what you were coming from, Justin.
Okay.
Yeah, if you step on Legos with shoes on,
it hurts. That's the joke, right?
Mad.
No
you
free
step
feet.
on Legos with no shoes on.
Oh, so that
Also,
I thought you were saying it was advantageous to not have shoes on if everything's made of Legos. And I was like,
it was a joke.
You're being sarcastic.
It's not. It would hurt a lot.
Yeah. Okay. I'm tracking now.
I say we call it audible on the Legos and the free feet.
Yeah, let's not do that. One that jumps out to me is the derelict ship. Perhaps that is maybe like what the city was built around.
Mm-hmm. Like it's a core part of the actual structure of the city.
Yeah, like a crashed derelict ship.
That sounds cool.
And maybe that's where some of the tech came from.
Yeah. Yep. And I do want to follow up on Will's comment. Do you like the idea of like a pavement-free world?
Yeah, I don't know necessarily for this society, just like our world in general. I love an idea where there's no cars. Like we don't need pavement.
Yeah. I'm just picturing like an old slab of it here and there, and people look at it and they're like, what was that about? It's like
right. No, I do like the idea of this city that has like dirt roads, but also like inactive robots as like buildings. So it's like that like fantasy sci-fi
mash there
coagulation happening, and like there's no cars, there's no pavement, there's just dirt roads, but also there's a derelict ship that we're getting this technology from, and yeah.
Riffing on the ship concept, can there be a bunch of hangars? I like that from this list.
Sure. Hangars. I dig that a
Like,
lot.
I feel like hangars would make a really nice, spacious, like not just functional storage space, but like rundown hangars could be kind of like clusters within the community where people
For
live
sure.
together, cook
Yeah.
meals.
I dig that.
It could be like a gathering hub, you know?
Yep.
Hangar D12. We have a new soup.
That's so fun. I dig that a lot.
Is that why our region rejects technology? Because in some like past ancient like war, we've taken over this like militaristic base with all these hangars, and we've since then created this like city and community amongst that.
Feels like there's a connection there.
We're gonna get to a part of this community creation where we come up with your community ideals, and I think that's when we can start to drill down on like the technology thing. So
free
hold
feed
on. Yeah, hold on to that for a bit. Let's move to aesthetic touches.
Okay.
Justin, I just want to say I've never once heard someone say aesthetic like that, but I adore it, and I'm gonna start saying it like that from now on.
Aesthetic. How are you supposed to say it?
Well, I say it as aesthetic.
Say it.
What?
Don't correct him.
was like, don't say it. Don't say it.
Don't correct him. Anyways,
enriches
aesthetic
the world.
touches.
Aesthetic.
I don't know how it would work with everything we've described. But the idea of like geometric touches. I love a good square.
Who doesn't?
You know, yeah, it's hard to pass up a good square.
Yeah, a good square. Will, what are you envisioning these squares?
I don't know.
being?
I just love a square.
Steve had mentioned, what if they're like little like slabs of pavement? What if they're like you know, there's some like of these like this rocks around there just perfectly shaped in a good square that Jinkies would appreciate.
There is some really dedicated deviant out there who's going around and making little concrete squares and putting them in the ground.
I like that. I also kind of, what Danny just said made me think like perhaps that there are like impossibly geometrically shaped rocks on this mountain. Like to the point where like they weren't naturally formed, right? You don't really know how they formed, but everyone's like, there's no way that this just happened. That's a perfect square.
Some ancient civilization from a millennia before us that came and chiseled out this perfectly shaped rock.
So Egyptians came through here and just
we're actually just in Egypt.
They're like, we need a perfectly hexagonal thingy here.
I also feel like someone mentioned it earlier, like this like dichotomy between like metal and maybe like moss, flowers, like a lot of
that's for sure big part of the aesthetic vibe.
So let's add that. Obviously there's a lot of metal and then a lot of like nature and flowers. I dig that. This is a really cool looking city. This is very cool.
I named it already. It's a terrible name. You're gonna love it.
Oh yeah,
Milwaukee.
What do you think? Should we? Let's Milwaukee. We can. If you've got it, let's talk about it now.
Yeah.
All right. Metal Moss.
That's not the worst.
Not the worst name.
We could go Metamoss.
Metamoss.
That's like a.
It does sound like a Pokemon.
Sounds like a Pokemon.
It does sound like a Pokemon. I kind of like that idea. Just that you added like a sort of flavor to it that the L in metal never gets pronounced. Metamoss. Other names?
I like leaning into the moss.
This music feels so hopeful. So post-apocalyptically hopeful.
Well, so here's the thing. This is really like post-apocalypse, right? When you think of post-apocalyptic, you're thinking like Mad Max and Fallout. Like you're in the trenches of immediately dealing with the consequences of the apocalypse. And this is like community has started to come out.
The world
of
has begun rebuilding.
Exactly. And you are now trying to figure out, like, now that we're out of that, now that we're not just in survival mode anymore, what is this? Who are we? What is our place in this world?
I feel like that's a very big point, is that we're not in survival mode. We're not in, like, this isn't Apocalypse Road Trip.
Correct.
We're past that.
Yes. And so that's why I think the hopeful thing is really important. Because it's not dark and dreary and depressing. There is a glimmer of hope in this game.
Yeah.
But we can make it dark and dreary and depressing if we want to.
Oh,
right?
we will. I will hurt you.
Oh yeah.
Oh please.
I was making sure. I was about to leave just
But it won't be from any sort of natural apocalyptic disasters.
Yeah.
It'll be from the consequences of your own decisions.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Perfect.
So I like Iron Bloom as like a mashup of the two elements.
I kind
Bloom.
of love that.
Like that.
Okay.
I really like that a lot.
I was debating between that and Moss Forge, but yeah.
I like Iron.
I was thinking, it's a lot better than my idea. I was like, the Mosstopia.
Oh, I like Mosstopia.
That's pretty good. That's
How about
pretty good.
Or
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. St. Moss.
St. Moss.
I'm just gonna go with Iron Bloom.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'll put the rest of my stupid ideas in the Discord server later, and we all can discuss what we should have gone with.
Let's have a semblance of storytelling in this.
I thought you were going to say a semblance of democracy. We should do polls in the Discord about where we were wrong.
Sure.
Yes.
If that's the case, then Mosstopia will be chosen, and I will have instant regret.
You will. You should. You should.
Your character can always call it Mosstopia regardless.
For sure. Yeah. Maybe that's what the people call it. What is your crew base? What does your base look like?
It's an old Kmart.
Yeah.
I'd like to reiterate that this is not Earth. This is another world.
Are you saying that in the world that we exist in, that Kmart's restricted to just being on Earth?
Whoa, you think Kmart's blue light deals are impossible to achieve anywhere not on Earth?
Okay, fine. It's an old Costco.
It's an old Costco.
Love
Okay, that's
Costco.
better. Thank you.
Maybe there was like perfectly shaped geometric rocks, right? Maybe there's like a perfectly geometric cutout in the mountain.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I like that.
I dig that. I dig that a lot. So, like a cave, like a geometric cave,
Like a perfectly square cave.
Yeah, I do really like that.
And we can call it the K-hole because it's a Kmart.
I will not be calling it that. Will not be calling it that.
Well, okay.
All these good ideas. I'm writing it down.
We can call it the Kmart because it's the Crew Mart.
Okay.
And crew is spelled with a K now because we've rejected the use of C. We have S's and we have K's.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sure. You can call it the Kmart.
The first
C is no
rebellion
longer in the alphabet.
in our historic records. Who needs C? Yeah.
And K for cave.
K for cave.
I would like to reiterate, this is not one of the goofy one shots we normally do.
I know.
All
But
right.
also,
Trust me, I'm aware.
Okay.
This is me being back, Justin. This is me showing lots of restraint.
Opted out of the alphabet.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. I do love the idea of a perfectly square cutout cave. I think that's
It adds to the mystery.
That's a cool vibe for sure. You now need to pick a bonus foundation. So you already have the hard light. What is it? The spin weave apparel.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine, maybe we can flesh this out a little bit. I imagine that it's because you found this tech in one of these derelict ships.
Mhm. Or maybe
That's
we
what
found
I-
the tech in our base.
Or in your base, for sure. That works as well, too. You also get another bonus foundation. So if you're on that Google Sheets doc, starting on row 23, there are other foundations that you can choose from. You get to pick one of the ones under Prosperity 0. Prosperity 0 is just for Danny and Steve, that's your crew quality, essentially.
Okay.
They're
It's
also
like
on
a
page
general
50
rating for our
of the
existence.
rulebook.
God, it'd be so fun. It's under Prosperity 0, so that's that whole section, right?
That whole section there, yep. Any
Secret
of those.
passageways would be so fun.
Ooh,
Yes.
that is a good one.
Impossibly cut out rectangles this time because they're passageways.
For sure, of course,
Mhm.
of course.
Within, like, an attached to the impossibly square cave.
Yeah.
Yes.
That plus 1d to shadow rolls on site. What does that mean? Like during our jobs, you get plus.
Yeah, I think it would be so. This is also not just then these secret passages do not just connect to your base, they're all over Iron Bloom.
Cool.
Mhm.
I think that's so fun.
So
Yeah,
basically,
maybe
anytime
that's why we found this cave in the first place. Too.
Yeah, I dig that.
That's why we
Mhm.
decided to make it our base, is because it's connected to these secret passageways.
I dig that. So basically, yeah, anytime you're doing a job or a mission in Iron Bloom, any shadow rolls using these secret passageways is going to get you a +1 dice.
Okay.
I would love for, like, all the, like, true locals to really know their passages.
I dig it. Maybe that's how you like determine like who's a local, who's not. That's
Oh,
really
you're
cool.
talking about the one by the creek.
That's really
Runs
cool.
up by Sally's.
Any
So like
other...
whenever the
I-
rich people from Milwaukee come over, they don't know about the know about the cave.
Exactly.
So we gotta-
About
That's
the
right.
K-holes.
Well, the
Nope.
I
K-holes.
don't know anything with the K-holes. Not the way the gays do it. Mm-mm. We could choose one more now to get us back on
No, just one.
Oh, I wish.
Okay.
Just the one. So I wanted to ask if there are any other anything anyone wants to throw out there besides secret passageways, or is that the one we're going with?
But contending against secret passages, I can't let go. I can't. I'm attached already.
I honestly same. I was also looking
Okay.
at Rover Garage. That'd be cool, but
You'll get the opportunity to get
That's the
more
thing,
of
yeah.
these as you play.
because
So
our crew advances, right?
exactly. Yep. So don't worry about that too much. Let's do. We already have the name. We're almost done with the community. We need to. This is kind of fun. We're actually all going to create an NPC. I think maybe we'll do this part off air.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I think maybe we'll do this part off air. So then let's just go to community ideals. I really love this a lot. You're just going to write 1 to 3 ideals of your community. So they have some samples, but again, you guys can come up with anything. Like sample ideals is like always show hospitality to guests. We should coexist with the natural world rather than use it. Strive to be good at many things rather than excellent at one. It feels like definitely one of these Danny is suggesting has to do with rejecting high technology.
They coexist with the
Yeah.
natural world.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like for our community to be like closer to the land in that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
also do like the idea of the rejecting high technology, because then like we try to help our community, but that's the reason we're not government officials, we're striders, is because we're using this like spin weave like apparel, and we're using this technology to help our
Yeah.
community that rejects that. And we know that if they knew the full extent of what we're doing,
they wouldn't be
you
okay
know.
with that.
There
There is a-
using this gear kind of maybe puts us in a tense position with some of
Yeah.
our folks, maybe.
So there's
Yeah,
a really
yeah.
fun mechanic in this game. I think so far it is my favorite mechanic in this game. One of the ways that you gain XP is by having these moments where your personal beliefs and ideals are at odds with your community ideals, and you have to figure out like, what does this mean for me as a person? And that is one of the ways in which you grow. It's so cool. It's so cool. So this is, again, that's a good point. This is your overarching community ideals. So we reject high technology, or we reject the use of technology.
Yeah, I like the distinction, high tech. Yeah.
Of high tech.
Yeah.
They still have Android,
like
but no iPhones.
Yeah.
Perhaps like the it's something along the lines of like, we reject the use of high technology. Things should be done personally. Like help should be given with your own hands, something like that.
Yeah.
I think in my head, one of the obvious top of mind concerns, especially as we live and sort of and build things around the husk of this ship in the future, and we're aware of some of the current abuses of high tech around the land, is just the concentration of power disproportionately in the hands of a few.
Okay.
And so like we use tools to like till the land and things like that. But like we probably would be very uncomfortable with somebody piloting an extremely large robot that can just walk through and destroy half a village. Like similar argument could be made for like high-tech guns, like, and so I think that's part of the caution, is just like, this seems too powerful. No one should have to bear this burden.
We reject the use of high technology. No one person should have that power.
Yeah,
I dig that. I dig that a lot.
Oh, I'm just gonna say it. We just gotta force the other crew to make the other city that high tech, contrast.
I, as the GM, will try and push that way, but suggest that way and be like, I think that it creates some fun story.
It's right there. Come
on. I mean, that's the thing. We're all very well of tropes, and we can pick up like, oh, that's definitely where the story's going. Any other ideals you can think of for your community that you feel like would be important to the overarching community?
What if something that came to mind just for me, what if there's like this whole, what if the community has this whole thing of where, like, sorry, it's gonna be really hard for me to word this.
That's fine, just get the words out.
It's not so much like rejecting the past, but there's some sort of like like this like only look forward, like don't. And this kind of has to do with maybe someone like the secrets that we'll play into. Maybe there's a reason why they have this ideal of like not putting anything that's happened in the community's past into consideration. They're very future forward oriented community.
I like it. Can I add something that may be related, but I can't tell yet? It's emerging. How do you guys feel about being radical communitarians? Like purpose determines property. So like everything is assumed to belong to everybody, and you can grab anything and use it if you have a good enough reason. Based on the kind of shared framework of the community. Like
I really like that a lot. I feel like that jives really well with their understanding of like high technology. Right? Like the extrapolation of that would then be that, well, then no one should have ownership of anything solely. It should be the communities.
I do wonder, this obviously we'll explore, how our specialty of secrets fits into a community that is community focused.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's cool.
We'll discover that.
I like that. I do like that. Yeah. Oh, also, I think that'd be never mind. This is world building too. But like, what if the reason why our community like sort of rejects the past is because to get to the point where we've had to have that heavy, like almost tyrannical use of technology to get to this almost like
something happened in the past.
useful point that we're at.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so right now we've got 3 community ideals. I think they're really strong. We reject the use of high technology. No one person should have that much power. The past has only brought pain. The future is what to move towards. And no one person has ownership of anything. The community's use is more important. I dig that.
Yeah.
I'm picking up a really cool, like, pastoral community amongst the wreckage of like old tech. It's very I'm digging this vibe so
We're the
much.
best. We're so cool. You guys would love to hang out with us.
You need to pick your crew's special ability now. You can see them as well on that Google sheet. There's a bunch of them. What sticks out to y'all?
From what? I'm sorry?
The special abilities.
Crew special abilities.
I'm so happy you asked because I didn't hear it all. And I was like, I'm going to wait for someone else to talk.
Oh no, Justin said words again.
Oh no. Why is that guy still talking?
I was like, oh God, we're still recording. Okay. Okay, how many of these can we choose?
One. You will get the opportunity to get more.
Okay.
But right now you choose one of them.
I already like Can't Hate Us. When you roll entanglements, roll twice and pick the one you prefer. Oh, that's just great. That's just fantastic. Wait,
All right, I'm gonna say
goes with what Jinkies was saying at the beginning, where it's like we really want to be a not hateable crew.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I just want to scan the others and see if there are contenders.
Captivating. also sounds really
Heartfelt.
cool.
I think heartfelt really fits in this community.
Alright,
sure it does. Yeah.
I mean, that's like a mechanics. That's like Gears' ability.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mechanics heart. Yeah.
Mechanics heart. Yeah. 'Cause
So
I
for
think that
one
would
Will
make
Jenkins
sense
who
as
does
well.
not listen to Scum of Villainy, what does that mechanic do?
It's just the same thing. It basically just means
Yeah.
that like people are willing to even the most hardened criminals are willing to listen to you if you speak from the heart.
Got it.
Mhm.
Just like if
Ooh,
a
yeah, I
mechanic were to talk to a criminal,
Yeah.
they would listen to the
Yeah.
mechanic, you know?
Hey, your
They'd be like, "Ah, you know."
carburetor's broken. They'd be like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
the carburetor's
heartfelt
broken.
does stand out to me the most now.
I do like it.
Yeah.
I also like Can't Hate Us.
Can't Hate Us is another good one. But remember,
I
this
think-
isn't as we advance, we can choose more.
Okay,
Yeah.
You can choose something else.
Ability.
This is just your starting special
Okay.
ability.
Okay.
And I
I'm
think-
leaning-
Trading favors would fit the best within trading secrets within this community.
Oh, I feel
Right.
like
And that's a way to
really
justify what we do almost.
and it really fits with the like community ownership piece
Yeah.
a lot as well. That's really
So this
cool.
one
Now
for our listeners reads, sometimes friends are all the supplies you need. You can reduce a positive faction status by 1 to construct a foundation for half of its usual cash cost rounded down. So you can build stuff. You can convert
Quicker.
reputation into
Mhm.
building stuff faster,
Yeah,
which is
that's
cool.
really cool.
That is really cool. Although right off looking at this purely mechanically and less narratively, that does seem like a more like down the line this would be a really useful thing. So mechanically,
Right.
heartfelt might be the better option to take right off the bat, and then as we advance, we can go into trading favors.
Just
Because we know that no matter what Justin does, we're going to want to be able to persuade a hardened criminal.
lean into the
I feel
narrative,
most
though.
sold on heartfelt as our foundation.
Okay.
Because it makes sense to me that in a communitarian group that like each of us would really have to develop our ability to
Yeah.
communicate and appeal to everyone's conscience and shared sense of purpose.
Mhm.
Love it. I love it.
Like you
Oh.
have to make a case all the time
Yeah.
for how the
I'm already
community will
thinking
do
about
something.
how my character is gonna be in the other crew. Like how those interactions are gonna be, and it's so
I
cool to
know.
think about.
It's. I hope both you and Steve are thinking about that. The last thing I think we need to do is crew name. But if you can't think of that, we can always come up with that off air.
I feel like we should wait for Gus and Nikki to come up with that part.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do
Yeah.
it. Let's do it.
Right away, I was thinking like K-hole dwellers, but that might not.
No, I don't like that. Nope.
Oh, if we're going down that
HPs.
rabbit hole, we're naming it
Alright.
WeHo. That's
Alright,
the.
I reject all of these answers. I think we are going to have to now power through character creation.
Oh
Um,
wow!
I
I know.
Oh, wow.
We can do
My
it. We can do it.
character.
I can do it. I can do it. All those tabs down there on the Google Sheets have the various playbooks. There are 7 playbooks. There's the Aegis. I don't know how to pronounce it. I feel like I've always heard Aegis, but whatever.
Someone will correct us.
Probably. Aegis are good at taking it's Aegis. Rhymes with haggis.
Yes.
Aegises are good at taking hits and winning fights. Play the Aegis if you want to get into harm's way to get your friends out of it. Beacons are good at connecting with and impressing people. Play a beacon if you want to talk your way out of trouble when you can and lie when you can't. Charters are good at anticipating the future and having plans to deal with it. Play a charter if you want to help your friends and keep your team in sync. Kestrels are good at physical agility and navigating the wilderness. Play a Kestrel if you want to be totally in tune with your environment. Scholars are good at figuring things out and learning about the past. Play a Scholar if you want to know about everything and take risks to fill in the gaps. Scrappers are good with messing with tech. Play a Scrapper if you want to fiddle with high-tech scrap and come up with creative solutions to weird problems. I think Nick is going to take that. Witches are good at dealing with transcendent forces. Play a witch if you want to feel magic dancing at your fingertips and help connect people to the spiritual world.
Oh. I'm leaning Kestrel or Charter.
I'm leaning Aegis. I want to play something very different from Lynn.
For
I'm
sure.
leaning witch.
Well, it sounds like, Steve, you've got your choice then there.
I do. Start with the folks who already know their choice then, and I'll think on this while I
Okay.
search the rule books.
Okay. Well, I'll just go through it in general, and you guys can make decisions, and then you can catch up, I guess, whenever you pick your. You're gonna pick your form next. There are 3 forms. There are technically 4, but let's just keep it to 3 because I don't want to deal with the other one. There's Radiant. Radiants are just the ancestors of humans from before the apocalypse. There's Adapted. Adapted are I've been playing a lot of Fallout, so they're the ghouls of this world, right? They were humans, but they've mutated a little bit. It doesn't have to be just like ghouls. It could just be like you've got bunny ears. Maybe you've got gills and can breathe underwater. Something like that. And then so that's adapted, and then there's synthetic. Synthetic is exactly what it sounds like. They're synths, they're robots, they're humans, but they're also tech. Which I feel like one of you should play because that would be so interesting to see what one of those in Iron Bloom, like
Yeah.
the relationships there.
I would love to play a synthetic.
Do it.
Like a synthetic who puts their body on the line for their community.
Oh, great story already. That's great.
I type in the form. I've got nothing else though, so don't ask me anything just yet.
All right. Danny, what are you thinking?
I was thinking radiant.
Radiant. Okay.
Just
Radiant.
human person.
Love it. The next thing you're going to choose is your character's heritage. So of those 7 regions that I listed out, so your character doesn't have to be from the Meridian Valley. They could be from somewhere else.
But I'm like reading now.
There's a lot. There's
Oh, a synthetic from the Red Empire.
That's pretty interesting.
Hmm.
Maybe they were like a war tool, like a weapon essentially, and somehow broke free and escaped.
Yeah.
I would love like thinking through the story of how a synthetic, which sort of represents high tech, became accepted in our community.
Yeah.
I love that. And maybe they're not quite accepted, or maybe they are. I think that's also really interesting too. If like in the midst of all this rejection of technology, like for whatever reason, you have gained the trust of this community. How did you do that? That's either way. There's a really interesting story in there.
And the one adapted humanity. I'm just trying to catch up.
You're totally good.
That's not the one that you skipped, right? Adapted humanity is in the
that's
mix. Okay.
Neo-human, and it's just because I don't want to have to come up with abilities. So let's just adapt.
Like Ramdens?
I do. I do like Ramdens. Adapted is just like a human with sort of a mutation.
Okay.
Essentially, think about it like that.
Yeah, I think I'd be adapted.
We've got all three so far.
That's
Did you choose a playbook?
Yeah, I would like to be. I already forget the name of it, but a ranger. But I forget what it's called.
The Kestrel.
Kestrel. That's why I can't remember the word. Such a creative word. Cool. I will be a Kestrel.
This game has taught me another word as well too, because so you've got like your actions, and there's the three categories. There's analysis, kinesis, and semiosis. And I had never heard of that word before.
Yeah.
It's cool.
That's cool.
All right. Do the rest of you have an idea of your heritage?
I think I want to say that I was looking through the different regions. I think I want to say my character hails from Pine Lock.
Okay. So Pine Lock is a really isolated region. There's a mountain range that basically cuts it off from everything else. So Pine Lock's kind of doing its own thing and doesn't have a ton of interactions with the rest of the world. So it is really interesting. Like, how did you leave? Everything is probably new to you at this point.
Yeah.
At this point, did you want to establish whether or not we have a history, Danny? Our two characters, we had joked about like being buddies or brothers or mother and son or various other things.
I don't think necessarily family has to be a thing, but I think having a history. Yeah. And I feel like we could, yeah, I think if you'd like that.
Yeah, okay. I too shall be from Pine Lock.
Okay. All right. I dig that as well. Okay. You're gonna choose your background next. There are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 backgrounds: academic, artistic, criminal, labor, mercantile, military, and religious. This is what your character did before you joined the crew.
I think that rather than going with militaristic, I would love to go with artistic. Like this hyper militarized Red Empire society has decided to strip its citizens of almost every joy and even put artistic tasks into the hands of robots, and then unable to replicate what a real person can do with art. The bot ran away.
That's cool. That's cool. So does the synthetic have some artistic talent?
Yeah, but you know how like AI art can only draw hands with 6 fingers and stuff? It's like always a little off.
Sure, for sure. Okay. So
Birds with too many limbs.
Probably more talented than just the common person if they were to do whatever your art medium is. But a true master of that form, you would not stand up to them.
No, and even like if you were to look for artistic meaning or feeling behind it, totally devoid of that. It only pumps out the product without any of the what makes art good.
Okay. So I dig it. Just so you know, you are going to basically this background is going to influence raising up an action skill.
Okay.
So just so you're aware of that, I totally dig that story, but just so you can connect that as well there, that this background gives them some sort of natural ability over other people.
Okay.
So keep that in mind.
Cool.
Steve, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking it would be cool to have been a scout. And I know that
Okay.
falls under military, but
yeah.
I think it's only in the loosest sense because I'm not
Sure.
thinking that I was associated with any formal military in Pine Lock. It was just more like, you please watch this road and then go this way for 3 days and tell us what's over there. And we've heard that there are movements of, untrustworthy characters through this land, and that type of a thing.
Well, they are constantly scared of the Red Empire invading.
Mm-hmm.
So that, even if you're not a part of the military proper, I'm sure you probably had some. It just sounds like you just took it upon yourself to be like, I'm going to keep watch and make sure that the Red Empire doesn't.
Yeah, track movements. Maybe I imagine having a long history of like messing with the like occasional,
Sure.
Red Empire guard who wanders off too far or
Yep.
like, that type of a thing to stick it to them.
I love it. Deanie, Steve's character has chosen military as their background. What do you think?
Scout. Yeah.
I'm still like trying to brainstorm the whole like backstory of my character, but I was between artistic and mercantile. So I think
Okay, Will did choose artistic. That's not to
Yeah.
say that you can't also choose artistic, but
I think mercantile. I just imagine like she was like just like a seller of oddities and goods in Pine
I dig
Lock,
it.
like a traveling merchant.
Oh, okay. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I dig it.
maybe that's how her and Steve's character met.
For sure. I think that.
And then I started to bring you things that I found while scouting that I thought you might be able to sell as bits and bobs
That
of
is
old
so
tech.
cute. That is so cute. All right, the next thing you're gonna choose or you're gonna assign your action dots. So your playbook is gonna start with 3 action dots spread out amongst the 12 actions. You're gonna add a dot to one action that you feel represents your character's heritage. You're gonna add 1 dot in an action that you feel represents your character's background, and then you can put 2 more dots wherever you want.
So 1 for heritage, 1 for background, 2 wherever.
2 where you want. Just like Scum and Villainy, just like Blades in the Dark.
But you can only have a max of 2 at character creation, right?
You may only have a max of 2. Yep.
Okay.
In any given skill.
In any given skill, correct.
I see. Pips, as it were.
Yeah. And putting pips in the sheet, just putting any character in that square will make it fill out in pink.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's wow. Excel programming is so fascinating.
Isn't it great?
I feel like I'm gonna assign my dots off stream so I can think about them a little bit.
Totally. That's totally fine. Absolutely. Totally can do that.
Just trying to make sense of some of these words and then check back and forth with the books because words like sunder are more.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, I'm gonna do this later when I have time to really digest.
Totally okay. They do have, if you hover over the name, it should pull up a little explanation for those. Yeah, it took me a little bit too to wrap my head around some of the actions. Not that they're bad choices, but they're different than Scum and Villainy. Because it's a different genre. So that's totally fine. Take that time if you need to. I do think you should choose special abilities. So you get to pick. You're gonna have a starting ability. Everyone gets that, the starting ability, and you get to pick 1 of the special abilities that are there. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. We can read it together and talk about what it means.
Wait, we're choosing special abilities now?
Yes. Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Very special.
Very special indeed. I'm looking at some of your. There's some good ones. There's some cool ones. Oh, it looks like Will's already chosen.
I read fast. The second I'm like, yeah, this makes sense story-wise, we click her.
I love
Oh,
it. Yeah,
I've
what is
chosen
it?
Spark of Hope, which reads, your resilience is inspiring. Take +1 die to command or connect with anyone who's witnessed you resist harm or protect someone.
I love that so much.
Which just feels like the way that we could connect with a community who otherwise doesn't like technology.
Yeah, I feel like by choosing that, it's now becoming clear that like you are a beloved community member.
Hopefully. There's probably one religious freak who hates
I mean,
robots.
maybe, but
There's
like,
gotta be one.
but in general, I think you're not on the outs. Like you are definitely a part of the community. People take care of you and love you. I love that. That's so cute.
And we get to choose how many of these?
Just one. Just one.
Just one.
Mhm.
Oof.
While you're reading, Danny, I see you have chosen yours. What did you choose?
I chose Charm Break. You can push yourself to do one of the following: unleash an enormous blast of magical force, call down a natural or unnatural storm around you. Example is given: gale force winds, crackling lightning, whirling sunfire, or gravitic vortices, etc.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen gravitic vortices. in a
Yeah, I've
sentence.
never.
I understand what it means, but like, oh, I guess that is how you would say that. Vortexes of gravity would be gravitic vortices.
Yep. So she can do powerful magics things.
Yeah, a little elemental magic. That's really cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Steve, you got any ideas, questions?
Yeah. I am inclined towards slip through because of my experience getting past security measures and, tracking the Red Empire patrols and whoever else, dips too far into Pine Lock territory. But I'm also tempted by Red Eyes Shining. You can use your melody to resist a hidden or unexpected danger or push yourself when you act quickly and decisively.
Yeah. So
And I'm trying to figure out how using your melody.
Yeah, I was about to explain what that is. It's essentially armor. But your melody, they say it is the things about yourself that you know to be true. It is like those parts of you that you hold on so tightly to. It's what you build your personality on. So when these things come up, you can rely on those parts of yourself because you know that you can get past this.
Do you know what's really funny? I was gonna make my character's name Melody, and then I literally just found out that Melody's a mechanic of the game, and I was like, that'll make things way too confusing. So
It might be.
I'm now
Harmony. We'll call you Harmony.
There's also a mechanic called Harmony.
Discord.
No.
Oh no.
I'll make her name
Discord.
Dissonance.
Dissonance.
We'll just call you a flat fifth.
Yes. Hey, Flat, get
Devil.
over here.
Devil's Cord. All right. I will go with slip through.
Okay.
I'll be a sneaky boy.
Little sneaky boy. Okay, next. Oh, we can totally do this. Right under your heritage and background is something called anchors. You're going to come up with and write down 1 to 3 anchors. These are the things that tie your character to this community. The things that make it hard for you to leave. They could be relationships, they could be ambitions, they could be things that happened in the past, debts, really anything. But they could be positive, negative, neutral, but things that are keeping you tied to this community.
And there's a place for this in our sheet?
There is, yep. So on the upper left under heritage and background is anchors.
Ah, very well.
Yes.
And we need
This is one of those things I gotta think about.
That's totally okay too. Yep. That's totally okay if you don't have anything right now. I feel like
their community.
Excuse me. name and pronouns and look also might be something you need to take some time and think about as well too, unless you've got stuff now. And this one you're probably also going to need to think about as well too. This is what I was talking to you about. You got your beliefs, which you can find those at the bottom of your character sheet on the left side under community relationship. It says belief. This is such a cool mechanic. So I'm going to read some of this. Communities are complex and people's relationships to them even more so. It's rare that a person's place in a community is simple and straightforward. Most people are stuck grappling with unclear perceptions and messy feelings about what their place might be in the community around them. Dealing with these feelings is one way your Strider gains XP and grows as people. So you'll write your belief, what your character thinks of their relationship to the community is, and you'll be able to have these moments during downtime of wrestling with that. It's a very cool mechanic to gain XP, and I kind of love it.
Yeah, this game has a lot of very cool mechanics.
Yeah.
But I will say, reading today, I was like, wow, we have added every rule that we could possibly think of. And I was on Facebook with my friend, and I was like, I think I'm great at TTRPGs. I'm going to lose track of all of these.
I'm with you. I feel like Blades in the Dark and Forged in the Dark, when you read it, it feels like there's a steep learning curve.
Yeah.
It really does. And I think one of the interesting things about it is once you start playing, I feel like it starts to click probably faster than something like D&D clicks. Like, I know some people that have been playing D&D for years and still don't understand the rules.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like now, when we're playing Scum and Villainy, a lot of us, like, we've got a good grasp of how the rules work. We're vibing with it. But I remember reading it the first time. I was like, how am I going to remember all these like various scaling like mechanics that are interacting with each other?
Yeah, like that's one of the biggest differences between Powered by the Apocalypse and Forged in the Dark is the presentation of PBTA is it's presented as what it is, a very simplified, like, you just pick a character and you play this character in that world. Whereas Forged in the Dark, it really is that thing as well, but when you're immediately looking at it, there are all these like mechanics and
it adds a meta layer to PBTA that isn't there in Powered by the Apocalypse games, I think.
I have 3 anchors. Do you want me to tell them?
Please, I want to hear them.
Okay. So I have an imagined debt. I lost my little sister to a Red Empire patrol years back when I was in Pine Lock.
Okay.
And so I feel the need to make up for that.
And what about that is keeping you in Iron Bloom?
This connects. So the second anchor is ambition to weaponize Iron Bloom against tech empires.
Okay.
I see that they have enough of the shared ideals.
Okay.
That I feel like they could really be a meaningful force to subvert what's going on.
Okay.
And then I've also made a promise to an elder of Iron Bloom that I would protect their people.
Okay. I dig that. I dig all those.
I only listed 2 anchors. Were we supposed to list 3?
No, it says 1 to 3.
Okay, so I listed 2. The first one was just Steve's character, whatever Steve's character's name is.
Sure.
He had a reason to be here, and so my character, who I've decided to name Penta, because we were on that music thing, so I figured pentatonic scale.
That's a good name.
Penta, her name. And the other one I wrote is Subconscious Connection. I think upon arriving here in Iron Bloom, she just felt this like almost otherworldly, like subconscious connection with this place, and she wants to stay here to figure out what that means ultimately.
Okay. Oh, I love that. I love all those. Those are both great. Very fun. And then beliefs again is definitely something that you can take some time.
I think I might have to think about that more. Yeah,
for sure. It's a big one. And it's how you're going to gain XP. So
ideally it's something that like contrasts the beliefs of the community, right?
It doesn't have to contrast. All it represents is what you understand your position in the community is.
Mhm.
That might be something that jives really well with the community ideals. It might not. Like, I imagine Will's synthetic, there might be some like tension with that. Like, even though they are accepted, are they
Mhm.
really accepted? Maybe that's constantly on their mind. So, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to vibe with the community ideals, but it certainly can.
Maybe
Yeah,
there's some
and-
like really old Republican iron bloomers who don't like synthetics.
Yeah, that. And I think a belief that is probably going to come into play, whether or not it is the belief, is like, oh my God, I'm a robot who still only exists to serve other people. Like, I'm here desperately trying to be accepted by this community. And I'm still just carrying out these functions for humans and variants and yada, yada, yada.
Sure.
Mm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's good.
Juicy.
That is really good. Hey, I like
All right, I
this.
finally moved my brain past anchors into whatever we were doing next.
Which is
beliefs.
beliefs. Yeah, which is beliefs.
Beliefs. I don't have any of those.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think of those.
That's totally all right.
Just
that's,
kidding. I may think of them soon. But
That's it though. That's character creation. We did it. Look at that.
we did it.
Like 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes.
Wow. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now that we've done this, I love this sort of genre of post-apocalyptic. The like, we're a little past the actual apocalypse. We're like trying to figure out
very past it.
very
seems like.
past it, right?
Yeah.
Like we're trying to now rebuild society and figure out how do we do that. It's a very cool genre, and I'm really excited. I just love it's so cute too. Like, I don't know how else to like describe it. Like, there's so many mechanics, and I'm like, that's adorable. Like the beliefs thing, like gaining XP from like trying to figure out like what is my place in the community. Like, I love that. So I can't wait to play this. I am a little disappointed because one of the touchstones for this game is another TTRPG called Legacy: Life Among the Ruins, which is the same sort of genre. That is a PBTA game. It's got a character playbook, so you play as a character, but you also pick a family playbook, and you're constantly zooming in and out of like decades. You might do like 10 years of a high level, like what happens to this family in these 10 years. We're going to roll some dice and see what happens. And then maybe we zoom in on a moment during those 10 years, see how that plays out, and then zoom back up to see how the effect of that zoom in affects the rest of the 10 years. I've always wanted to play it, and I think I'm going to have to settle for Songs for the Dusk. And I just won't get the generational zooming in and out play. But
But hey, we get those community relationships, and
man, that's my stuff. That's my stuff for sure. So in between now and the next time, which might be some time, but we'll review whenever that is.
I think 2 weeks.
Actually, it'll be in 2 weeks. You're right.
Yeah,
it'll be in 2 weeks. It will be in 2 weeks.
Unless the decision is made that y'all can continue Avatar Legends without me, which I'm also perfectly okay with if y'all figure you can do that.
Correct. I should reiterate, we will only be playing this when those times when we decide that we don't want to carry on the story without the person who is missing. There are plenty of times that we're like, we feel like we can just continue the story without that person being there and that character being there, and it'll be totally fine. But there are some times where like they're really pivotal and crucial to what's coming up next, and we can't have them miss this.
Especially like today, where we're missing two
members.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I will play both Mook and Fumi.
Oh God.
It also, I feel like even if Nikki could have been here, I feel like her response to whatever Tenzin's about to do is necessary, and I feel like I don't think you could do it without.
So important.
Also, Mook is in the room. Like,
Yeah.
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 A
Oh,
move
yeah.
literally
Yeah,
just G-blocked Tenzin, which is something that we're going to have to talk about.
We're
But
gonna have to talk about that. It'll be all right.
Mechanically, we'll figure out. Yeah.
It's okay. Steve and I have some things we need to talk about with Scum and Villainy and Ramdens
As
that
well.
I
That's
realized.
right.
Actually, reading this core rulebook, I was like, wait a second, is that like that in Scum and Villainy? And I was like, shoot, it is.
Guys,
I
I
have
said
a belief.
referendums. I meant it.
Yeah, you're right. I have a belief. Can I share my belief?
Please, if you have it, share
Yes.
it.
All right, it's kind of already on the nose based on the anchors I established, but Iron Bloom needs me. They're too insular and idealistic, but I can help them become a weapon against the Empire.
I love it.
I like
Steve-
that. I like that.
Steve, let me read, I think, my favorite line in the mechanics for the belief, which is, don't worry if it isn't subtle. These sort of judgments rarely are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's so true. So I love that. I think that's that's a great belief.
My belief, I'm just going to write God's not dead.
Are we gonna sign a contract? 3-part major motion picture film.
We'll get
No.
we'll get Melissa Joan Hart in on this.
I already have her on the phone. She's investing.
Amazing.
I'm going to have to think about my belief.
Yes, please. So in the meantime, you're gonna come up with your belief. You're gonna come up with your anchors if you haven't. Look at your action dots. Make sure you add 4, 1 for your background, 1 for your heritage, and 2 for anywhere else. But they should also represent like your character skills. And then we also need to create NPCs. Each of us needs to create 1 NPC, which it's not that bad. You're just gonna give them a name, a pronoun, and then 2 motifs, which are literally just like some vibes, right? Like if you were to see this NPC, what are like some of the things that you would notice about them immediately? And then we're actually going to assign one of those NPCs or we're actually going to assign 1 PC each to your foundations. So it might be that one of these NPCs is the one that found the Spinweaver apparel and maybe codes it for you or created it for you. And if it breaks, they make it again for you. And then we're also going to attach 1 to your secret pathways as well. So you need to think about like who might that NPC be. You don't need to create them with that in mind, like attach them.
Yeah,
to
I
that
think
thing,
I think specifically creating the NPCs without that in mind at all might be cool too.
Yes. Yeah. Don't do that. And then we'll kind of get together and figure out which ones. And then with the other 2 NPCs, we are going to attach them to a faction. I will send you all a list of the factions that are in the Meridian Valley. And so we can kind of start to figure out like who's helped you, who have you pissed off, and we can kind of figure out what your starting relationships with the various factions is going to be.
Yes, Fortune Dark factions.
I love the factions. The faction mechanic is fun, very fun. That's it. We did crew and character creation in 2 hours. That's pretty good.
Look
Take
at us.
that world.
Slur.
Pretty good. One of my favorite things too is like the world building piece. That one of my highlights of this entire project is anytime we get to do world building, because we just get to be creative and fun and like I already love this city, and I know like doing it with the crew of the professionals is they're gonna create something also that's gonna be incredible, and it's gonna stand in contrast to Iron Bloom, and I can't wait to see what it is.
I'm so excited.
It's gonna be cute.
It's gonna be so cute. There's gonna be politics. There's gonna be people that are upset. It's gonna be fun. But that I think. I mean, I don't need to keep talking for 10 minutes. I don't think I could. Maybe I could. Should I see if I could just talk for 10 minutes?
We can.
Do
make
we
it
have?
You should overshare.
Don't know.
radical
I've got
honesty.
this rash. Just kidding.
That's the best you come up with, a rash.
Yeah.
What about a venereal disease? Hello?
Yeah.
I could have gotten so much worse. You're right. You're right. As a although as a introverted undershare, a rash is already pushing it for me. I don't think I would ever say that.
I'm an extroverted undersharer, so
I'm just here.
There you go. You're just fine. Well, I think we're gonna find a stream to rate. So we'll hang out in the meantime. But for
Yeah.
those who are listening, thank you so much for listening. Next week, barring any issues, we'll be fine to just go back to Avatar Legends. I cannot wait to see what happens. It's getting real good.
I'm
As a
excited.
listener, I'm very excited. Steve, you're doing a great job. The rest of you, the players, you're having fun, and I'm digging it. You guys are great.
I really did not want to split the party again. So
It made sense.
I am trying my hardest to get back to the rest of the crew
I believe you.
and relics.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh,
All
God.
right. Well, thank you so much for listening to this. We'll be back with Avatar Legends next week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Good night, y'all.
Bye. Let's raid.
Let's raid.
I do the command. Did it work? Slay. Okay.
We copy that.
Did you do
How
the
do I copy
actual
that?
raid part?
Oh no, I can
How
do
do
the
I-
actual raid part too.
No, I can do it
Wait,
too. I just
how do I copy this? Oh no. Here we go.
Control C.
Is that what you're asking, Danny?
Never mind.
all right, y'all. Thanks so much for listening, and
Bye,
have fun watching
Twitch.
the next people. Bye bye.
Raidsies.
Raidsies.
All right.
Oh, they're playing 10K.